Hi,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the.
Justice and Faith Show.
And today we're going to be talking about personal health and wellness, a little bit of fitness. I don't like calling it dieting, but for some people it could be considered dieting. But it's cutting some things out and adding some things that could possibly supplement what you may already be doing. And if you're not, there's a few game changers I'm going to go over that might be helpful to some people and dispel a few myths, tell people about a few things I've learned in my journey, which has actually been longer than I'm going to actually only say it's been started within the last year for me or for us.
Yeah.
Because
and that's why we like the term health journey, because it's not like it's not a once and done and like all of a sudden, oh, I'm healthy now. Like it takes time, it takes effort, it takes commitment. So it's definitely something that he started first and kind of dragged me along, kicking and screaming.
I mean, you know, screaming. You mumbled.
Mumbled and grumbled. So yeah, like he said, for both of us, I'm gonna speak for me at first. It started last year. But
sorry, I'm hungry. This is one of the game changers. Garlic expressions for my beautiful salad. I'm gonna munch on that a little bit while she's talking.
So the one thing that really I should preface is it started a year ago, but it started slow, like really slow for me. Excuse me. One of the biggest things that I find is like, if you have a goal, you need to like break it down into smaller, achievable things first, because my biggest thing was, well, number one, I didn't really think I needed much. I didn't think I needed to change. I was like, I'm fine. And then so for me, it was like coming to the realization that even though I'm fine, like I could change. I should change some things about my.
What is fine? What does that mean? It means different things for different people.
Yeah. So in my eyes, I was fine. And it was just, I was okay. And I didn't really think to try and be better. So I was kind of annoyed with him for telling me I needed to change things. But once I kind of got on to it a little bit more, it was for me a series of small lifestyle changes that helped me. So yeah, you can go ahead and kind of go off of that, if you will.
For me, it was way different because I've always been into sports in the gym and different stuff, but I've also always had an office job. I've always worked multiple jobs. I've always been a high stress person. I've always been a person who's been super busy. I did not prioritize like health and wellness and stuff like that. And also, even when I did, I wasn't doing it appropriately. When I used to work a lot, I used to consume a lot of energy drinks. I cut soda out pretty much years ago when I was in the military. And the first thing in my research, it was talking about cutting soda out. So I cut soda out immediately, and I've never really looked back. I'll have it from time to time, but yeah, it's fine. I didn't learn until maybe last year, possibly the year before that. Nutrition labels are game changers because, I'm going to say, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nutritional labels are there for a reason, and you got to understand something, right? I think I did a video on like Facebook months ago about this. There are so many people who think things are healthy that are not healthy at all. Like, I should get that granola bar that has a few things that like 3 grams of added sugar. I try to get nothing with added sugar at all because it has no nutritional value. So for me, it was slow, it was incremental, and so I started looking at things like sugar, and I was like, it has no nutritional value, and it has addictive qualities. And people who have sweet tooth, they understand like it's very hard to get out of that habit. So I'm like, I'm not big on pastries, I'm not big on candy, I'm not big on a lot of sweet things. But when I do, I go hard on them. But there's other things that have sugar in it. Ketchup. People don't realize how much sugar's in ketchup, how much sugar's in barbecue sauce, salad dressings, things like that. So if you're having a salad, we used to have, and we still do, because I think you still put ranch on your salads.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right. This is typically what I put on my salads. garlic expressions. Unfortunately, the only place I've ever seen this is Redner's, and there's Redner's in Berks County. I'm not. I've seen Redner's in Montgomery County. They're a little pricey. It's $5 a bottle, but they're delicious. And I eat the garlic, the little garlic cloves, and they got real garlic in here at the end, and that's delicious too. That's my favorite part. But like, it's supremely good. I love a lot of base vinaigrettes and things like that. So when I have salads, that's not an issue for me. But for other people, it's an issue. So it's like, I have a salad, right? I have like some crunchy lo mein noodles and stuff like that. It's not terrible, but hey, I could do without them. But I like it. All right. When people go on diets and they have a salad and they're like, oh, I had a salad. What did you put on that salad? Oh, I had croutons. I had bacon bits. I had cheddar cheese. I had ranch dressing. You screwed it up.
Yeah.
It's
no longer really healthy after all.
Yeah, it's not as bad as a double bacon cheeseburger, but it still is like, and it gets in people's heads that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of reason.
That's a big pitfall.
Yeah, because people think that they're doing something good, and then they realize like, no, and that was part of a conflict between me and her, because there was a few things where it's just like, an example, because I use a double bacon cheeseburger, because you know where I'm going with that. You and your double bacon cheeseburgers, and I'm just like, why are you getting a double? Like, if you want to get the cheeseburger, get the cheeseburger. If you want to get a bacon cheeseburger, why double? And she would just give me that look. There's a look that she gives me, and she would just like stare at me, and it's like her annoyed look, and I'm just like, you can be annoyed all you want to. Why are you getting a double? And I think part of it was just like, this is what I always get. And it's just like,
it was what I always got. It was delicious. I was like, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get what I want to get.
And it's this small incremental changes where it's just like, you can go and get that if you like, right? But if you get that, you're like, they're like, what do you want, the medium or the large? Oh, let me get the large too, which means you're getting a bigger drink, more calories. People drink so many empty calories. That's another pitfall that people fall into. And then it's like, yeah, let me get the upcharge. It's only 30 cents.
Yeah.
So it's so many pitfalls. Like, eating better typically costs more. And that's unfortunate because I know everybody can't afford it. Another game changer, Aldi. Aldi. I don't know how you pronounce it. Aldi. If you have an Aldi near you, or Aldi, use that. Forget Giant unless you need certain outlier stuff. Forget Weis. Forget Redner's to the degree. Go to Aldi. When I tell you that Aldi, first of all, the prices are magnificent. Okay, the prices are magnificent. They have some of the best produce in the game. Okay, I do most of my grocery shopping there now because they have very specific stuff that only really they carry, and they have the best crab. They have the best frozen crab cakes I've ever had in my life. Like, that's just a disclaimer. Like, I just, for anybody that's into seafood, like. But I digress.
So back at the ranch.
Yeah, back at the ranch though. But there's ways to go about it. So once I discovered Aldi, I was like, you know what? Can eat healthier on a budget because it's I would go to a place called Sharp Shopper. It's in Lancaster County, and they would have things like, oh, it's these chips, 8 for $1. Oh, it's these juices, 8 for $1. Oh, it's these things, 4 for $1. And I would just stack up, and I realized like, their cookies and their chips and they're just things. Now, every now and then they have a few things that are good, but it's just like I was getting these things because they were cheap and because we we meal prep. So not only do we meal prep, and like Faith meal preps and eats maybe two of her meals or something a day.
Almost sometimes because I have to. That was my biggest thing that I started with. That was a game changer.
You can't start using my stuff.
So when we started meal prepping, that was a big thing because some days with my work schedule am gone 12 to 14 hours a day, and I would maybe pack a lunch sometimes, but most of the time I would eat out because I would be gone for
and
basically
then hide the stuff, hide the bags, and then leave it in the back. And I would get in the car. I'm like, you was just at McDonald's. Well, because, and I get it. I've been there.
Yeah, because like I said, I work sometimes 12, I'm away from the house, like 12, 14 hours a day. And it's like, I'm eating at least lunch and dinner out of the house. So if I don't plan ahead and have my meals so that I can take with me, that's where I'm like, well, I don't have anything with me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to McDonald's, or I'm going to go to Arby's, or I'm going to go to whatever and get something quick in between jobs. And
also something for convenience, like you can eat a burger or French fries while you're driving, going
Yeah.
from place to place.
Yeah.
You can't just pull out a salad in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And just you can. I've done it, but it's it's like
Don't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. I totally get it, and you know what? And I don't fault her for those things, but there are ways to go about that, like the snack in between. But even still, with her job, she doesn't necessarily have the ability to take a actual break like some people do. Like I don't have breaks built into my schedules, but like when I work my overnights, I can eat pretty much whenever I want. When I work my day job, I can eat whenever I want to. It's just the process of me focusing my attention, and that's one of my things I struggle with is eating consistently throughout the day, because once I get my mind going and I'm focused on something, because I have so many things I need to accomplish, I'm just like eating actually is like lower on the lower on my list of priorities. So I need to make it higher on my list of priorities. But those are a few of the little pitfalls. So when she said I dragged her kicking and screaming, the first thing was the sugar thing. And I remember I said something about like cutting sugar out, and she looked at me and she's like, well, not everybody. Did you say not everybody needs to not eat sugar?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I was like, well, it has no nutritional value. But I remember being so offended. Like, I remember being offended because I'm just like, in my head, I was cursing her out because I'm just like, yeah, like sugar does nothing for anybody. Like it's addictive. Like you can do the research on it, but like sugar is extremely addictive. And I'm just like, I understand it because as a kid, I used to eat sugar out of a cup, like with a spoon or lemon wedges or ice. I was crazy about this stuff.
I love the sugar packets. Like I would open them up and dump them right in my mouth. I liked those.
Because I was just about to say, we did race relations the last time. And I was about to say, for any black people watching, y'all know about the Kool-Aid. And y'all know specifically about the bottom of the Kool-Aid. When it's like this much sugar. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. All the flavor seeped into the oh my gosh. Like it made me want sugar. My teeth hurt though. But it made me want sugar really fast. But I'm like, so sugar was the first thing.
Yeah.
Then nutrition labels was the second thing. When I knew that it was really starting to kind of hit home, Arabella, she started with it too. So it was like we were getting yogurt one day. It's the first time she was like, and I was, because I kept talking about nutrition and sugar. And we were getting yogurts, and me and her were like, oh, well, this one has yogurt. While I'm on it, because I don't want to mess this up. Yogurt is another one of those things that people think are healthy and they're not. Look at the sugar content.
You need to.
Yeah.
Certain ones are, but they're not the ones
the
that taste
69-cent Danons, the Light and Fits. Look at the sugar. Look at the sugar. Greek yogurts and stuff like that. Just look at the sugars and look at the additives and look at all those types of things. Like the sugar, and for some things, sodium. Like people, there's so much to unpack with that. But look at your nutritional labels, and honestly, when you do, learn what each one of those things does and is. Like the vitamin A's and C's and stuff, that's all great. But when you look at like sodium and you understand like the percentages, once I understood what that truly meant, it was like that's your daily recommended intake. So it's just like if I have this one yogurt, right? And for a man, if I'm not mistaken, 42 grams of sugar. And I'm saying all sugars, natural and added. I try not to do added, but I'm just going to assume it's all sugars, right? I'm just going to say that. But 42 grams of sugar, 23 or 21 grams for women. And you got to understand, like, you have that yogurt, you have a bagel. If you have a bagel, people don't understand how much bagels are terrible for you. Look, shoot. But yeah, bagels are horrible for you. Like, there's different versions. They have thinly sliced ones and stuff like that. So if you really need a bagel, I'd say get the thinly sliced ones. But bagels are not a health food at all. They're full of carbs. They're full of sugars. So there's so many different things that go into making sure you're being mindful about the stuff you're putting in your body. Like if it has a nutritional label, like look at it. So, like she was saying earlier about taking a small manageable steps.
Right.
So when I started looking at the nutritional stuff, I really started to pay more attention to what I'm purchasing because I do most of the grocery shopping. So it's just kind of like, I remember I would buy snacks, ice cream, all kinds of stuff. They would eat it. And I would be like, well, dang. But then I realized I'm the one bringing the stuff in the house. So once I started not bringing the stuff in the house, it stopped. Like their snack behavior and the stuff that they were eating, it started to change. And then now, like you love chips and dips, and it was like, Tom, you eating the chips and dip all the time, but it's just
yeah, that's my vice.
But you
I
really
could eat
haven't
an
had
entire family size of regular chips and a whole thing of dip in one sitting.
What?
And
I did not.
yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I haven't in a long time, but I have before.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That. So like I told you, every time I get on this, I learn something new.
But yeah, it's definitely been something that has been a long process. It's not something that happened overnight by any means. We started with like the meal prepping and then the different snacking, like he said, but then also like after that became like a habit and we were pretty good about that. We added walks. So like we started getting up in the morning and walking.
You're missing a piece. Why did? Because we've always had a gym. I have always had a gym membership.
Right.
Always.
So we were walking because of quarantine
of COVID, but before COVID, we weren't going to the gym regularly.
Not really.
Before that,
I was going sporadically.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it had been. I don't want to say it was months. I don't want to say that because I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But I remember very vividly after the gym started, like literally, I have been, I don't want to say every day. I know it's not been every day.
No, it's not.
But I've been most days since July 1st. So I want to really truly say it started for me on July 1st because then the gym became a part. And it's so therapeutic. Like this morning I woke up, went to sleep at 5 something or whatever. Once again, right there with food is prioritizing my sleep when I can. But I have insomnia, different things. So it's a struggle. So that's where my weight and stuff, cortisol levels, not sleeping, not eating throughout the day, keep my metabolism going and all that kind of good stuff. So those are my issues, and I understand that. You have to figure out your particular things. But just understanding these things about yourself. So when the quarantine
when it hit, that's when we started walking.
We started walking because one, we were cooped up all the time and we weren't able to do a lot of things that we love. I couldn't shop, which killed me. Arabella was here all the time. Faith was not here all the time, but we just felt very cooped up. So I started going for walks, and then after a few weeks or a month, then Faith started going on walks with me. Then Arabella started going on walks with me, and it was pretty cool. And then by that time, the gyms had opened up again. And slow burn, I started going back, but it was just like it hit, and I'm like, we're paying for this every month, and just going in was very, very, very nice. I need it in my life now.
And then one other thing that we have both added is our water intake has risen.
Don't put me in that.
Exponentially.
Don't put me in that.
Your water hasn't?
It has, with a caveat. You finish your point because I'm gonna bring up another game changer, but I'm gonna also tell you how it can be problematic.
Because water is very important when you are on a health journey. You want to replace basically everything that you're drinking with water. Like you can drink things in whatever, in like in moderation, but the basic, like if you're drinking enough water, you won't really have much room for anything else because the amount of water you're supposed to be drinking is crazy. Like,
yeah, she learned this last week and it shocked her. She's like, I thought I was super hydrated.
Yeah, I thought I was like really hydrated because like I would drink like 2, maybe 2.5 of these a day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm drinking so much water. I need to drink like 4 or 5 of these. I'm like, oh my god.
And there's more that goes into that. It's not just drinking more water on the health and wellness journey. Like literally drinking more water for a lot of people, it helps. It helps with your skin. It helps. It helps it helps you metabolize things differently because the hydration in the water does so much. So when you're living a certain lifestyle, when you're going to the gym more and stuff, you're losing a lot of water through sweat. There's so much more that goes into the water intake. So just do your own research, look at your own body type. See, I have a thing, it's 64 ounces, and I know it. I bought this a year, 2-3 years ago. And for a while I was able to kind of drink, but it's daunting because this thing is not as daunting because you can't see the ounces or you don't know exactly how much is in it. Mine is daunting because I could drink. And sometimes I'll just be like, I'm going to drink for 5 seconds straight. And I'll do it. This much out of the jug is gone. And it's daunting because it's like, I got to drink this. And I'm thinking about sipping it all day. This like, no. You should have 2 or 3 of those a day. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this.
And just another little thing that might help some people that are watching or listening, making sure that you, if you don't like the taste of water, you can always add different fruits or veggies into it to make it taste better or taste different. You can figure out if you like it really cold, if you like it room temperature. There's some people who like it both ways. So like I like regular water filtered, and I like it ice cold. But some people need it to be flavored a certain way, or some people like it room temperature. So like just don't like totally not do it because you don't like the taste.
You can get more water, and we used to have arguments about that too. Because like this is not water. Like she's like, this is not water. This is water. It has some additives, but it's water too, and it helps you get hydrated. But the best thing is pure water. It's plain water. But like these flavored sparkling waters, you can get ones like this. I get these from Walmart. I get a bunch of different flavors. I also use those with my pre-workout because it helps enhance the flavor. And another tip, another game changer, I'm trying to cycle out of my pre-workouts because the ones I use have extreme amounts of caffeine. So I'm trying different ones, but I like a particular product by a company called from ProSups, Mr. Hyde, and I had a lot of success with them before, so I just kept it, but I was like, it's the same amounts of caffeine. But so what I started doing to trick myself is I'll put in a flavor or two flavored waters into one of my shakers, or my usually one of my shakers, because I don't mess my plain water bottles up, and I'll put in like a half a scoop of pre-workout or like a Scotia pre-workout. And I have other stuff that I put in to kind of mix it, and so it just enhances the taste, and I'm not doing the pre-workout as much. So, and I get a lot of my water intake from that. My 64 ounces, I typically keep that in the car because I don't even have a special container, but it typically stays fairly cold. And as the weather gets cooler and stuff like that, like it's kind of there, and it's not optimal that I don't drink as much as I should, but it's a work in progress for me. I'm carrying it. I mean, it's something to lug around too. I'm about to get a Camel pack because I might work better with that.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea that you have to be conscious of your fresh water intake and things like that. So it's like, where's a water fountain? Where's a machine where I can get water from? Do I want to be lugging around a gallon? Do I want to buy, like if you say I'm going to drink 2 gallons a day, and they're cheap. Like you can get a gallon of water for like 89 cents, but that builds up over time. You can be talking $20, $30 depending on how many that you go through. And you don't necessarily want to do that. So she does the filtered water. I'll drink in the morning. I'll drink a glass of the filtered water. I have bottled waters, trying to be more conscious about the environment. So I'm trying not to do too much bottled water, but it's convenient, and I understand that. So,
and then like to kind of piggyback off that, once you decide like what you're gonna do and how you're gonna start your journey, don't get discouraged by, like I said at the beginning of the video, don't get discouraged by your goal. If you are like if you feel like you're so far away from your goal, you're never gonna make it. Like pick smaller goals to reach in between. So like I'm going to get up and go walk 4 times this week, or 3 times this week. And if you do it, then you're like, you have a sense of accomplishment, and you're like, okay, I'm doing this thing, like this is real. And like the next week, okay, I did that, so maybe I'm going to walk 3 times and maybe do like do a little bit more water than I did last week, or not drink quite as much soda or tea or whatever your thing is that you drink. So that way too, you can focus more on your non-scale victories. So like as you're doing things, like just doing stuff is a non-scale victory. So like just getting up in the morning to go for a walk is a victory. Just
parking further away when you're at the supermarket or a store.
Yeah.
Not parking as close as you can. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
Yeah.
Just there's so many different avenues that you can do to help make yourself a little bit better. But before you get into more of the non-scale, I'm gonna bring this out because this is a body scale, right? So we have 2 other scales in our bathroom. I don't trust the one because it always tells me I'm fatter than I am. So I don't trust the one. But so I wanted to get this one because I remember years ago I was working with a device that measured your body composition, bone mass density, hydration levels, all kinds of stuff. Rough estimates and stuff is what I'll say because I don't understand the science behind it because I haven't fully researched it, but I will. But so I brought this like last week or the week before last week, and we got on it and we learned different stuff like how much based off our height, our age, weight, and this is what it says. So it's like you have this much muscle, this much fat, you're this hydrated, your bone mass. We both have heavy bones.
Yeah, it says we have.
Like I have like my bone mass, and I don't know how because I got to do more research on this. I have 32 between 32 and 34 pounds of bone mass on me. So I'm I fluctuate between 268 and 271. I want to say I'm 271 because I'm trying to, I'm taking into account for water weight. So between 268 and 271. But when I started, it was like 260, 276, 277. So I'm slowly dropping weight, despite some of my bad habits like my sleeping and things that I mentioned earlier. But when I got the body scale thing, I wanted to really understand and look at it because we just had a conversation today about you weighed yourself and you were irritated because you're like, I haven't lost a pound.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that people don't understand is like fat does not weigh less than muscle. It's just muscle is more dense, so it takes up less space in your body. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I started noticing when I was going to the gym, changing my eating habits, different things like that, I wasn't losing weight, but I was feeling better.
Right.
So those are the 9-scale victories. I was feeling better. This shirt is a large, and I bought it with. I want to say I bought it with confidence, but I didn't. I bought it with faith, like not literally, but I bought it with faith, and I was like, even if I don't fit this the way I want to fit it now, I know that I'll fit it right in a month or so.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I had mentioned this before. Anybody that knows me and I've said it, my first and primary goal in losing weight and different things like that was to fit my clothes better.
Right.
And I was like, that was my first, like that is a real victory for me because I've worn certain things that I haven't worn. I've purchased things a smaller size and stuff. Everything's not perfect, but I'm just like, my confidence is in knowing and understanding, like, I couldn't fit this 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. This was more snug on me. It gives you an additional sense of confidence. It gives you a sense that whatever I'm doing must be working to some degree. So you keep tweaking it to make it better.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about, like, when you said the 9-scale victory, I was like, confidence is one of them.
Definitely. Yeah, confidence. Getting compliments from other people. You're gonna, like, if you have more confidence, if you're gonna be fitting your clothes better, like, you're gonna be getting compliments from people because they're gonna notice. They're gonna say, something's different about you, and I like it. And then we have been noticing it's been better in the bedroom. In the past couple of weeks, at least. Yes, I mean sex.
Yeah, I don't like the way that that's worded because it implies that I don't like the implications of it.
Right, that's
I don't
not
like
what
the
I
implications.
mean.
But you can when you're in better shape, and for anybody, it just in general, especially when you work the way that we do and different stuff like that, you might be too tired of stuff. That might be another thing that we do. I have weird energy at weird times and stuff like that. But I learned and I noticed I know her body, I know my body, and I just understand that because we're both doing these things that we just connect better. That's the most appropriate way I can say it. Let's move on.
So
we just connect better.
So just from there, we're gonna kind of just wrap up with like one little last tidbit.
Now, I want to throw my game changers out there first.
Okay, hurry up
All
because we don't have that much time.
I know. Look, gotta get this organic milk. You can get this at Aldi. It's like $2.99. If you get organic milk like this anywhere else, it's gonna be like $5-6. Okay. Another game changer. It's whipped cream. I think I got this from Aldi. I did not like it. Okay. Get ready. The brand name, whatever the one is called, stuff like that. That's good. Put this on pancakes, waffles. Well, I'll have another thing. I'll talk about that and whatever. But this is a good condiment because we didn't talk about condiments that much. But low sugar, no sugar ketchup, stuff like this to add. Actually, you can freeze Cool Whip. That's a good low sugar like way to kind of get your ice cream fixed too. That I found out. Hot sauce, baby, hot sauce. Do this. I get the Valentina. That's all I really like. I know a lot of people like Louisiana Red Hot. Get your taste buds up. Other supplements that I use is the Moringa leaf powder. You can do your own research on that. I use the raw beetroot now. You can do your own research on that. Going to the gym, you gotta have your whey. Gotta have your whey protein. Whether you take it before or after, gotta do your research on that. Mm-hmm. I'm not giving y'all the whole game. I'm just showing y'all where the field is at. I got the power. I got the vitamin C that I put in, and a lot of the stuff I add. This all goes together. So I make sure that I get this intake in. Like I said, I got the pre-workout. I wouldn't suggest most people I have a high caffeine intake, so I wouldn't suggest everybody gets this. But if you find some kind of pre-workout that works for you, sometimes you have to cycle through to find out what works best for your body type. I got the turmeric. Turmeric, that's another game changer. That's a killer spice. Make sure that you do your research on that one. And then I got this ketone this ketone activator. I'm not sure exactly if it works or not, but I'm never going on a keto diet because I love fruit too much. So those are just some of the things. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my beef jerky for a snack. 70 calories, 12 grams of protein, 6 grams of sugar. Because it's sweet chipotle. I got these for like 87 cents. Everybody knows beef jerky is mad expensive. Look around, shop around, and these are delicious. Low calories, high protein. And then another one of my snacks is freeze-dried fruit. No added sugar, 35 calories. So just figure out what works for you. Learn how to be fit on a budget. Start today if you can.
Yeah.
If you can't, start tomorrow. But just start. And I promise you, if you keep making progress.
Yeah, cut yourself a break if you don't see stuff every now and then. Like, don't compare yourself to other people is basically what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But
and find a body person. Find a body person, like somebody you want to emulate. Mine is Daniel Cormier, Mike Tyson, Mark Wahlberg, guys who have similar height, similar build. I believe we're both endomorphic. Find your body type, your somewhat type. Find your body type, mesomorph, ectomorph, endomorph. And that'll definitely be a game changer too, because you'll know you'll never look like The Rock. Or you'll never look like certain people.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the gym and you do your fitness journey, then you're very well aware of what you need to do for your body type.
Right. So go in and hit the subscribe button, like us, follow all of our podcasts or Instagram. We're on Instagram now. So just follow us everywhere. All right. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.